Hello everyone and welcome to the South Bay channel. This is South Bay speaking on a topic that's seldom given mainstream attention but is now being questioned under the radar. And the question I'm referring to is, why are there so few white people in TV and online commercials these days, despite whites constituting the majority of consumers? Well, let's get right into it. Since the crisis event of 2020, the American black community has been the focal point of an overwhelmingly large percentage of TV commercials. Despite making up just 14% of the population, black actors now figure prominently in around 70% of all commercials. This represents an enormous increase from just 5 years ago when blacks were the main actors in just 20% of all commercials. Now, it's well established that Madison Avenue never does anything without careful planning and consideration. After all, commercial advertising is a multi-billion-dollar business where companies spend massive chunks of their ad budgets figuring out the best ways to reach customers and stimulate spending on their products. Which begs the question, why sacrifice the lucrative white audience for a group that not only is far smaller numerically, but has, on average, less disposable income to spend on the products being advertised? Clearly, economics is not the main motive at play here. So if it's not money that's driving the black advertising push, then what is it? It's been suggested by certain alt-right commentators that this move is designed to fill racial quotas in a corporate America increasingly dominated by Marxism. The thinking here is that by including more blacks in commercials, the leftist ideals of racial equality and affirmative action can be realized. Another theory is that as white America becomes more and more saturated with credit card and other personal debt, white shoppers are simply tapped out. Thus, by tilting advertising toward blacks who are far more likely to use cash than credit and who have a much smaller personal debt profile, banks and corporations hope to extend more revolving loans to the black community to replace white-dominated credit spending. Then there's the theory that with America's borders being currently flooded by illegal immigrants, Madison Avenue's push to show more black faces on TV is designed to psychologically prepare Americans for a less white and far more racially diverse nation in the coming years. But a more likely explanation for this phenomenon is the goal of the U.S. Federal Reserve to put in place a central bank digital currency, or CBDC, in order to make tracking purchases and collecting taxes far easier for the government. Before this transition can occur, it's imperative for black Americans, who are the nation's biggest users of cash, to be forced into using credit cards instead of paper money, which would make the switch to digital currency that much easier for the feds. So by appealing to blacks in commercial advertising to take on more credit card debt, their traditional reliance on untraceable cash can be eliminated, thus bringing the nation that much closer to total communism. My appeal to the listener, whether black or white, is to use cash as much as possible when making everyday purchases and forego using credit cards unless absolutely necessary. By using more cash and less credit, the Marxist agenda that was put into play in 2020 can be forestalled and possibly defeated. Thanks for listening, and until next time, this is South Bay signing off.